Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Radio Ramadan Wolverhampton on 87.9 FM. My name is Obaida Ahmed and I will be your host for the next hour inshallah. So thank you for joining me on our show Women in Health. Together we will hear real life health experiences from our sisters, how they overcame some of the darkest moments of their life so far and what really pulled them through. I've always believed that every woman is incredibly strong inside, but sometimes we need a helping hand or a shoulder to lean on, or, as is the case with our show, an experience from a fellow sister. Our Women in Health show will also explore careers in health and social care. Throughout this pandemic, we have had many of our brothers and sisters contributing to the treatment and care of many in our community. This field is very important, and I am sure you will all join me in thanking all of our NHS and key workers for all their efforts, inshallah. So we've got people lined up from various health professions to discuss their careers so far. We want to hear the highlights, the obstacles, and the challenges that they experienced. What made them follow the career path that they took, and hopefully what advice they can give to people seeking new careers today. This show aims to inspire and empower everyone, but particularly our sisters. If you would like to share your experience, or if you have any further questions for our guests, please get in touch via our email address info@ramadanradiowolves.com or WhatsApp the show on 07440 420 432. So, for the first part of today's show, I have invited my niece Afira Aslam. This last year has been very difficult for us all, but my beautiful niece Afira has had a particularly difficult year. Afira is here today to discuss her journey through and overcoming cancer, alhamdulillah. Now, I don't know about any of you, but when I hear the word cancer, I automatically switch off in fear. But the reality is that there are so many people suffering with this cruel illness and so many families caring for loved ones with this illness. We hope that by sharing Afira's story with you, anyone who is suffering gets the strength and the sabr to get through any difficulties that they are facing in life. So without further ado, Assalamu alaikum Afira and welcome to Radio Ramadan Wolverhampton.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, Afira. So, Afira, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, my name is Afira and I'm 24 years old and I've recently recovered from Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a type of cancer.
Okay, so that horrible word cancer. So, how did you first find out about the cancer and what were your first steps in seeking more further information from healthcare?
So initially I felt a lump on my neck and I thought I had just slept funny, and so I just kind of left it. I think like most people do ignore random things in their bodies, which is quite bad, and I feel like this treatment, if my story says anything, it's that you should always get lumps checked out. So I ignored it for about 2 months or so because I thought it's just like muscle pain or whatever. It wasn't actually painful, it was just a muscle knot. And then after a while I was like, okay, I feel like it's starting to grow now, I should probably get it checked out. And I feel like a lot of people delayed going to the doctors because of COVID, and I feel like that was a similar thing for me. But at that point I was like, okay, I've had this a while now, it's been longer than a few weeks, I should get it checked out. And so I called the doctor, and then
okay, so did you call your GP first? Is that your first step?
Yeah, so my first port of call was to call my GP, and I explained the whole situation to her, and she called me in the same day, and she said that she was going to refer me on a cancer path. She said it's just a path that they use, and 9 out of 10 times the lumps come out as just like fatty tissue or nothing really of concern. Obviously I was not the 9 out of 10, I was 1 out of 10. And when I relayed this information to my friends, they all started laughing and calling me fat lump. And And
Oh,
obviously, when it didn't turn out to be a fat lump, they soon stopped laughing.
oh, bless. So, Sophia, you must have been, did you feel nervous at all calling them? I mean, people hear lump or they feel a lump or they think of cancer and automatically you think the worst. How are you feeling when
Yeah.
you got in touch with the GP?
Honestly, I didn't take it seriously because I think because I was 23 at the time. At 23, you kind of feel invincible, like nothing's really going to touch you. Um,
Mm,
like cancer, you're that young. Where's that going to come from? Especially because I didn't have any B symptoms like people have. Like people get night sweats or they lose lots of weight or they have other symptoms. I felt completely fine and healthy in myself, alhamdulillah, and I felt
mm.
that was a blessing in itself as well. So I didn't really think anything of it when my GP referred me.
Okay. Okay. So that in itself to me says the alarm bells that, anyone, this could happen to anyone really. I mean, it
Yeah.
was a big shock for us. And just for the viewers, the listeners, benefit. I remember when COVID first started, and Afira came to visit me, and she said, she came to drop some food off, and she said, I said, what are you doing out and about? And she said, I'm the designated healthy one in my family, and I'm come out to do the shopping. So these kind of issues can happen to absolutely anyone. That's what makes it more frightening for myself, or I don't know about anybody else or any of the other listeners. But okay, so next step. So once the GP referred you, what happened next?
So the GP referred me, and I went for some blood tests. And with one of the blood tests, they said that there was a bit of an abnormality and that there was an inflammation somewhere in my body, and so that I was going to go for a CT scan. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
not a CT, a biopsy. And
Okay.
so I went for one biopsy, and the doctor there said he thought that it was probably TB, and that the results would come back and show TB, and so that's tuberculosis. And
Yeah.
I came out of that biopsy, and I just laughed because I was like, where on earth could I have picked up tuberculosis from? It's lockdown. I've not been anywhere. No one's been to Pakistan or anywhere, which is like a high risk place.
Yeah.
And so the whole situation was very light.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I got a phone call saying, "Oh, we need you back for a second biopsy." And then I was like, "Okay, things are getting a bit serious now." And
Okay.
when I went to that second biopsy, that's when, like, straight away the doctor said, "I think you have Hodgkin's. I don't know. So you have lymphoma, but I don't know if it's Hodgkin's or non-Hodgkin's. I'm going to send
Okay.
you for a CT now, and um, you can, yeah, I'm going to send you for a CT, and we'll see from there. We'll call you back within a week." And so after, so I was having to obviously go through all this alone because it's COVID and no one was allowed with me in the hospital. And
Yeah.
so I went straight from my biopsy. I had a CT, and then I had the car journey home with my dad, and kind of I cried and explained everything. And he was like, "Oh no, doctors always say it's cancer. Don't worry, don't worry."
Yeah.
So yeah, and
You just,
then
I think you just don't want to think that it could be that. I think you just shut down and think, yeah, it can't be that. Especially as a parent, you want to
yeah.
give them some sympathy or comfort, and you don't want your child to be thinking that. So what happened next?
So I went home that day, and my dad said to me, "Don't stress your mom out for any reason. It's not going to be cancer." And I was like, "Cool." But obviously, my mom knew straight away from my face
Oh,
something was wrong, and she was
yeah.
like, "What's happened? What's happened? What's happened?" And I told her, and so I think for those 2 days, my mom and I were just really upset, and we were very
Oh,
tearful, and everyone else was like, "You're being ridiculous. It's nothing." And then
yeah.
when I did get the phone call a few days later, I think straight away my mom and I just became like, I think I don't know, something happened in us that we were just both very emotionally resilient, and we didn't cry. And I think everyone else started crying then. And
Yeah.
that's when it hit my dad and my siblings and everyone. And then, yeah, I started to tell everyone. I started to tell you and Nanyami and everyone.
Yeah.
And I think everyone was
Yeah.
just like, whoa. So I
So
think
so
especially for, yeah,
go on, sorry.
I think especially for the wider family, because I hadn't told them any of this, like anything to do with the biopsy or anything, because I thought there's no need to alarm anyone. So I think it
Yeah.
was a bit more shocking for everyone else then too.
You didn't want to, I suppose, cause unnecessary upset or stress anyone out, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I remember, Frida, when you came and told me, I remember I was the one who was crying hysterically. I remember going absolutely like a baby, absolutely bawling. And I remember you were consoling me, you were hugging me, you were like, Carla, it's okay, it's going to be okay. And how did you get to that point? How did you get to that point? Because mashallah, you were so brave. You were so brave. How did you get there? Tell us.
Honestly, I think you've known me forever. You know that if someone says to me, Fira, why are you crying? Why are you crying? Why are you crying? I'd start crying.
I know, exactly. As far as I can remember, you have always been the biggest drama queen in our family. You've always been that person who cries first, or gets upset first. And so how did you get to that point when, mashallah, you were so strong?
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I think it's just in that moment I knew that I had to be strong for everyone, and if I broke down, then everyone would break down. So I kind of just, it's just, I feel like my heart kind of was strengthened somehow. I think definitely by Allah. And it's just like, I'm going to get through this, and I'm going to get everyone else through this too.
Oh, bless you. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you strength when he brings you to an issue, when he brings you to a problem, he definitely brings you through. And I think your experience has definitely shown us that, Afira. Definitely.
Yeah.
I saw that transformation in you. I saw how overnight you became this incredibly strong and brave young lady. It was amazing, mashallah. And well done to you. But following that, I mean, alhamdulillah, we're lucky. We've got a big family. We've got the community. We've got a good network around us. And so tell us about the support you had around you, and if it helped at all, or were we just wasting our time?
No, you definitely weren't wasting your time. So, in terms of like my family support, like obviously I had my siblings and my parents, and their support was invaluable. It was just, they were the ones that, like, I think they were there every single day, witnessing my highs and my lows and just kind of living through it. I think because of COVID as well, like I couldn't see everyone all the time.
Yeah.
But you and Kalisma would always show up with care packages and chocolate cake. There's always be a knock at my door and a chocolate cake or something there waiting for me, which is amazing. I think you know how much I love it normally, but my cravings were intensified during chemo. And I think above all, Mariam, Yahya and Hania, so my nieces and nephew, they kept me going throughout the whole thing. Like if I was ever upset or down, they'd come with little cards that they'd made and be like, Kaka, what's wrong? Or let's dress up, let's do something. They were honestly
they kept you busy, I guess. Kept your mind.
They kept me so busy.
Yeah,
they kept me very, very busy. And I think in terms of the wider community, I didn't really think that people cared about me. I'm not saying that in like a bad way or like in a oh woe is me sort of way. I mean, like, people are busy in their own lives, you know what I mean? Like people don't have, like, people are busy generally. But I just thought, why would anyone worry about me? But I was definitely surprised and overwhelmed with the support I got from everyone. I think when people found out I had, like, my house literally became like a florist. it was covered in flowers, and people were calling my mum every day, even in between my chemos. But after every chemo, people would still call my mum and ask how I was doing, how she was doing, which was amazing. And I remember once I went for a blood test, and I came home, and Badruzina had dropped off cupcakes and a bouquet of flowers, and this was just like a random day of the week, and it was just, and her card was the sweetest. It was like, we're always thinking about you and praying for you. And it was just like, it was a really nice way to find out how, I find out that I was very loved. But obviously if there was a nicer way to find out you were loved, that'd be great. But Cancer told me how loved I am.
Oh, that's great. I mean, I guess what you're trying to say is you didn't realise how much love there is out there for you, alhamdulillah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you're a very valued member of our family and our community. And I guess it's like, you know, a lot of people are parents, or they've got brothers and sisters and no one wants to see their loved one go through this. And I think when you see someone else go through it, it kind of hits home, and you think, well, what can I do to support that person? And living through COVID, we've all seen how the community stepped up. And I think if it wasn't for the community, I mean, in supporting, not just you, supporting your family, your mom, your grandma through this, I think it would have been really, really difficult if we didn't have that support network around us. It's so important.
I totally agree with you there. And I think we were very lucky in that throughout this whole time, we were never actually isolated. Like, yeah, we were in isolation and not
Yeah.
and then lockdown and everything, but we were never isolated from people, which is something we're all really lucky. Like, we're very lucky for that.
Alhamdulillah, that's amazing.
Alhamdulillah.
I feel I'm going to make you talk a bit, lower the conversation tone if you like. So I feel, what was your lowest and your darkest moment throughout the whole of the chemo, or the whole experience?
I think that would definitely be what was supposed to be chemo 11. So this is a very long story. You might get bored of hearing my voice.
No.
So it was meant to be my penultimate chemo, but my veins in my hands are still so bad that the chemo like it leaked. So I wasn't able to get my full treatment, and because the drugs had like potentially leaked, I had to have an antidote, so to speak. They didn't have any available at the hospital, so I had to wait for it to come from another hospital. And I obviously wasn't able to go home during this time as my hands had swollen like crazy. And I remember just sitting there and crying because I was there for so long and so upset. Like, when all the other patients had left, the nurses had actually let my dad come in and sit with me, which was quite nice of them. And then I also had to have this anti-chemo for 3 days in a row, which meant that I had to have, instead of having this being my penultimate chemo, it was like I'd had an additional 3 chemos, especially because the side effects were the same. So the nausea and everything was all still there. And because of the swelling in my hands and everything, I had to have a line put in, and that was the thing that I was hoping to avoid from day one. And with it coming to my 11th chemo, I thought, like, oh yeah, I definitely won't have to have it now, because it'll just be one more chemo in my other hand. And so that appointment was so my line appointment was a few days after this. So this, like, it was literally like a week of hell for me. And so I was so physically weak at this point, and like, I wasn't allowed anyone in with me because of COVID. And so when I was leaving the appointment, I kind of collapsed on the floor, which was next to this poor woman who was having chemo. So actually, I can't stop laughing thinking about it now. And even in that point, like, I was like half dead, but I was lying on the floor and I was laughing at how ridiculous the whole situation was. My nurse was like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm really, really sorry about all of this. And she was like, yeah, don't be ridiculous. But yeah, it was really funny.
What actually got you through that point and to the next chemo point? Because I remember you being really low at that point. I mean, all of us in general, because we thought, yeah, we're nearly there now. We had a countdown and say when you're going to be free from it. So how did you, I mean, the rest of us got on with our day-to-day lives. How did you get through it?
I think first thing was just saying alhamdulillah for what I did have, because some people have it much worse. I think yeah, and because at that moment in time as well, I wasn't able to like eat myself because my hands were so weak, and so like I'd sit there at the dining table and my dad would be there feeding me roti or whatever. And so yeah, like, just knowing that I had that support there, and knowing that there was an end point, even if it did keep getting delayed, there was an end. And also knowing that, like, I'll only test people as much as they can take. And I thought, well, if I can take this, then, like,
you're obviously stronger than you think you are, hey? Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. But yeah.
Well, I remember when before you started your treatment, I remember we spoke to some family friends who have been through this experience, and I remember they were saying that, you know, before each chemo session, you kind of hit a low, and you know well, I suppose the first one you don't know what's coming, but when you know what's coming, it's really difficult to just, you know, I suppose motivate yourself. And I remember getting messages from your mom in between the sessions saying she's had a cry, so she's getting ready to go in now. And how was it for you before each session? What went through your head, and what was your kind of routine to psych you up for it?
Yeah, so the first session, I obviously I kind of didn't know what I was going into, as in a family friend had told me about what was going to happen, but obviously the side effects or anything I didn't really know. So the first session I kind of went in, and I had a cry during that chemo because it was the day for my birthday, and I was like, I'm really not supposed to be here. But
I remember that,
but then subsequent chemos, I knew what the side effects were going to be. So like you said, it's psychologically, I feel like you get sick before you even have the chemo. So the day before I would have chemo, I would just feel so depressed and feel like I couldn't eat anything. But I would always try and bake a cake or something at that point, because I was like, yeah, you can do something and you can get through this. But the morning of, I would have a cry. I'd like sit in my room so my mom wouldn't see me, but like probably I'd have like a 2-minute cry and be like, okay, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna get through this.
You
like,
need to get it out of your system, didn't you?
Yeah.
So leading up to it, you did a lot of baking, which was lovely for us because we got to experience, taste some delicious cakes, I have to admit. You mashallah excelled a lot through that time with your baking, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I think Mariam's rainbow cake, like, for her 3rd birthday, was like the best thing I've ever made.
No, let's see, you've learned something out of it. You got some benefit out of it, alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, you, in terms of like New Cross Hospital, which was where you had your treatment, and you chose to have it there, I mean, because you're at that age between being quite adult, or you could have gone in a younger ward in Birmingham, but you chose New Cross. So how was that for you? How did they treat you? All the COVID restrictions, how was all of that?
So I think, like how you said, I was like in that age bracket that I could have gone to Birmingham and had my treatment there, but I'm glad I had it in Wolverhampton because it was so much easier with it being local, because the drives home after chemo, it's horrific. Having to
you probably just want to get home.
Every bump in the road you feel.
Oh, gosh.
So I was like the youngest person there by like 30 years for most of my chemos at least. Which I was looking around, I was like, wow, this is fun. But no, the chemo nurses are absolutely fantastic. They were so lovely and so understanding. And in terms of COVID, like, it meant that I couldn't have anyone with me for my treatments. But I feel like in some respects that was kind of better, because it meant that I had to be stronger. Like, I had to be more emotionally resilient. I feel like if I had my mom or dad there, I would have just been a giant baby. Because even my mom and dad were younger than like most of the people that was sat there. Like, I feel like it would have just made them feel worse too. I feel like
it's very difficult to see your loved one like that.
I feel like it shielded a lot of my family from having to see things, which was good.
I mean, good in that sense, but it meant you went through it by yourself, and that's not nice either. It's not very nice.
No, I think for a lot of people it was really bad. But I feel like I said, I think I would have just cried a lot more if and being a big baby about the whole thing. But no, I feel like it just meant I had to be stronger, and I'm going to get through this, and I'm going to get home and see everyone.
Yeah. Oh, so I remember a lot of people were contacting me to say, tell Afira to do this or tell Afira to do that. Did you have any like tips? And obviously, these are just health advice and tips, nothing professional. So, is there anything that you could say worked for you? Any dua or anything that got you through?
So I think one that kept coming up was Surah Rahman, and that really helped me. I think at the beginning of every single chemo, I would sit and listen to that for like twice, and that would just like bring me so much peace in my heart, and it would kind of make me think like, okay, you're going to get through this, like, and whenever I was feeling low, I'd just say ya salamu, and that would like help me and get through. It's like a name of Allah. I would also, I think the person that really helped me the most, a family friend went through had cancer recently, went through chemo, and she kind of spoke to me through everything, and she told me what her tips were, and it was just like clean eating, healthy eating, basically, and just praying. Every time you feel super low, just say Alhamdulillah for what you do have, and like honestly, that does picks you up, and it gets you through things. It's like, things are going to get better. Oh, and one thing that my mom will probably say to everyone out there is holy or turmeric.
Yes, that's amazing.
Yeah, I am so off it. It's unbelievable, because it's literally been like forced into my drink. But yeah, turmeric or holy, that's a good one that keeps popping up too. Yeah.
Excellent. So fast forward a bit now. We've been through the chemo. When you were waiting for your results, I know I don't think I saw you that nervous or that anxious throughout the whole thing, really, or maybe I just didn't see that side of it. But what was going through your head when you were waiting for your scan results?
I think the scan results, because it was 6 weeks after the chemo had finished. So after the chemo finished, there was like that emotional high, and it was just like, yay, everything's great now, woohoo! I'd never have to do that again, inshallah. And then,
inshallah.
And then I think that's when, after that, the what if started to kick in. Like, okay, what if the cancer treatment didn't work? What if it's come back, or it never went away in the first place? And I think because I had already felt what chemo had felt like, it was worse this time around, actually waiting for results than the first time around, because I knew what lay ahead, and that it would be a much more intense regime. And I think that brought me low. Having all these what ifs like really stressed me out, and which is why like I would randomly just start crying. I sound like I'm a massive crybaby through all this, because I feel like crying some up a lot, but I assure you I wasn't that bad. But yeah, I think it was really, really stressful. That I think, yeah, especially because my appointment wasn't actually until the 12th, which is, yeah, until the 12th of April. And I got my results beforehand, which I was lucky.
Yeah. I suppose you didn't have to wait as long as you thought. So, Afira, I'm just going to pause you there because we're going to go for a break.
Cool.
If we just hold on, and we'll be back.
This is Ramadan Radio. Little Dessert Shop continues to expand with stores in Bilston, Wolverhampton and Wensfield. During Ramadan, we're celebrating our show-stopping dunking box for only £25. Feed the family with this exquisitely presented iftari gift, featuring the best from our menu. Enter Ramadan 25 at the checkout on our incredible new website. Visit littledessertshop.co.uk today. The holy month of gifting. From all at Little Dessert Shop, we'd like to wish you a blessed Ramadan and a huge Eid Mubarak.
Do you have a family member that's passed away and you would like someone to assist you in legal advice? Kenneth Jones Solicitors has been providing legal services for businesses and individuals since 1986. We specialise in probate, Islamic wills and family law. We also offer services in conveyancing, immigration and personal injury. Contact us today on 01902 745 773 or visit us on our website at kenneth-jones.co.uk.
Mubi Bass Electronics, specialist in car audio and home entertainment. Suppliers of leading brands, Samsung, Sony, and Panasonic. We supply and fit all car audio systems, top brands, Kenwood, Bose, and we're an authorized supplier of Vibe product. Visit our store online at mubibass.co.uk and order today for next day delivery. Mubi Bass Electronics are proud sponsors of Wolverhampton Wanderers FC. Call us today for a free quote on 01902 754 546 and quote Ramadan 20 for 10% off. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Mubi Bass Electronics, specialist in car audio and home entertainment.
Is your home protected from the unexpected? It can be with Home Cover Plan, Wolverhampton's fastest growing home emergency cover from as little as $14.50 a month. That's right, for just $14.50 a month, Home Cover Plan will protect your boiler, radiators, electrics, plumbing and any other home emergencies with no catches, no call-out charges and no excess charges plus a boiler service. What's more, for Ramadan 2020, we're offering 15% off our policies with the code Ramadan15. Go to homecoverplan.co.uk now and join the many thousands already enjoying the benefits. Your tyres are essential for safe driving. They're the only link between your vehicle and the road. At Premier Tyres, we proudly stock leading tyre brands such as Goodyear, Michelin, Pirelli and more. We're also your go-to garage for MOTs, servicing, exhausts and all your mechanical needs. With the most affordable prices in town, unmatched quality, knowledgeable and fully qualified mechanics, we will look after your car no matter the make or model. Premier Tyres, Crown Street, WV1 1PX. Call 01902 455 684 or visit premiertyreservices.com.
Are you in receipt of benefits and looking for cavity wall or underfloor insulation? Did you know, with Northern Gas Heating, you could get a free boiler with the insulation measure of your choice? Call 0800 083 1000 or go to northerngasheating.com to see if you're eligible. It's a quick and easy assessment. Northern Gas Heating, celebrating over 20 years in the industry. We're proud to be the UK's local central heating company.
Pack Continental, your local best halal supermarket in Wolverhampton. Established for over 20 years, we pride ourselves on our fresh vegetables and fresh fruit. We have a variety of spices and lentils. We're also an award-winning Halal Butcher of the Year for 2 consecutive years. We supply excellent quality meat and poultry delivered fresh daily to our store. Visit us today at 1 to 3 Hunter Street, Wolverhampton, WV6 0QZ, or call 01902 717 792. Open 9am till 8pm Monday to Saturday and 10am till 6pm on Sundays. Go to RamadanRadioWolves.com and donate to your local mosque.
Oh, welcome back, listeners. Firas, so we got to the point where you just completed your chemo and you got your results from you got a phone call, I think, from the consultant telling you about your scan. So when you actually got that phone call, what went through your head then? What happened then? How did you feel?
I think it was literally a 3-minute phone call from my consultant saying, yeah, I didn't think you should wait any longer and stress out. Yeah, you're in remission. So I put the phone down. I went straight to my mum and dad's room, woke them up, and I said, I'm in remission. And they were like, what? Because they weren't expecting the phone call. Yeah. And then I went straight onto the family WhatsApp group and kind of left a screaming voice note for everyone, which you got. And yeah, I think even now I still haven't fully processed it. Yeah, I still don't think I've actually processed the whole thing.
Yeah, it is very soon, very soon after, very fresh in your head. I think it will take time. I mean, you probably still look back after years and think, well, did that actually happen?
Yeah.
So do you feel like the experience has changed you? Do you feel like your priorities in life have changed, or how do you feel about that? Or is it too soon yet?
I feel like a bit of it is soon, but I think my goals broadly are more or less the same, but I think I do appreciate each day more. Like the small moments we take for granted, but I feel like everyone's had a bit of this experience with COVID and being locked up.
Yeah.
But just having like the freedom and the energy to go for a walk, and I think, yeah, just saying alhamdulillah for everything. I think that's what's taught me. Just be grateful for every single thing you have. For every little setback, there's a reason behind it, and just say alhamdulillah for everything.
Do you feel like it's brought you closer to Allah?
Oh yeah, definitely. It definitely has.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so our show, it focuses on women's health and how we can overcome how women can overcome any health issues that they're facing. Do you feel like any part of your experience was different or harder because you were a woman?
I think maybe one part, okay, do you know how people think cancer and they think bald person? So I feel like maybe that's what, so in the grand
it's a big
scheme
part
of
of a woman's life, isn't it? So,
it is like having your hair and stuff. So the grand scheme of things, it is like, when it comes to cancer, it doesn't seem very like, okay, yeah, you've lost your hair, but you're getting better. But I think for me, the fact that like I was losing my eyebrows and my eyelashes and everything, and I was just like, oh my goodness, I look like, I think at one point I literally said to my mum, I look like Professor Chris Whitty. And she was like, oh my god.
Because you see so much of him on TV.
Yeah, I've seen so much of him, and I'm like, I'm turning into him. My mum's like, you're ridiculous. But yeah, I feel like losing my hair, I didn't think it at the outset. I was like, oh yeah, it's not going to be a big deal. But as I was going through it, I was actually like, oh my god, I'm starting to look more and more like an alien. But no, alhamdulillah, I look normal again.
My eyebrows have come back. You do, and your hair's coming back, which is great.
My hair's coming back.
Yeah,
I look like
soon be back, inshallah.
Yeah, I've got the hairstyle of like a 2-year-old boy, but my dad says that it suits me and I look great. My mum's like, stop encouraging longer hair.
Oh, alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
So what now? What do you plan to do going forward? Do you find what steps are you going to take to get your what is a normal life back on track?
So I did plan on starting like after I got the all clear. I did plan on getting a job, but it actually came before I got my all clear, alhamdulillah.
Oh, that's amazing, mashallah.
Yeah, I one of my friends was just like, oh, apply for it anyway, you'll get the practice in. And now I am working in my dream field, alhamdulillah. I'm in the I'm working in a corporate law firm in the financial and banking sector, which is like my goal. So alhamdulillah. I think after every trial does come, like, goodness does come after everything, and so I feel like alhamdulillah, good things are coming.
Absolutely,
and
inshallah.
So yeah, inshallah. And I did feel a bit silly for starting it before I got the all clear, but
no,
yeah,
you
I've got the all clear now, so that's great. And it's just, yeah, seeing
you go through that time, and I'm waiting for the results. I think it came at just the right time for you, really, because it kind of get you something to focus on.
You definitely,
while you were waiting, because I think that period while waiting for the scan result was very difficult. Waiting for the scan first and then the result, it was tough. And I think it came just at the right time for you, really.
No, it definitely did. It kept me busy. At least 9 till 5, it kept me very busy.
So finally, Afira, my final question for you is, how on earth, now as your caller, I saw pretty much everything you went through. How on earth did you eat all those cakes that you got?
Oh, well, I think for all the listeners, I literally got like 5 like massive cakes and over 200 cupcakes during the course of my chemo. Like, it was like, and after the chemo finished, I had so much cake and the donuts and all the like chocolate covered strawberries and sweets. And yeah, let's just say my family and I have all gained a lot of weight.
I think we all gained weight all those COVID anyway.
Yeah, we appreciated and ate all those cakes.
Oh, that's amazing. Afira, mashallah, as your auntie, I mean, I've seen how brave you are, mashallah, and I pray that, you're never tested in this way again, or, any of our loved ones are never tested this way. But mashallah, you were so brave, and in fact, you got us through it. That's the funniest thing about it. You got the family through it, the way you handled it, and well done, well done to you for what you've done, what you've achieved. And I mean, is there anything else you want to say to anyone else, any person who's suffering with out there at the moment? Have you got any final words for them?
I think like things are going to get better. Like, you might be at your lowest of low right now, but there will be good days. And just say alhamdulillah for what you do have, because when you start saying that, you realize, like, wow, I still have so much. And yeah, just yeah, sorry, that was not very articulate, but you will get through this. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think we take things for granted. I think one thing COVID has shown us, and especially when it comes to our health, is that we do take it for granted, and we spend so much of our life running after the little things or what we think is important, but we forget that alhamdulillah we've been blessed with so much already.
We really have.
Alhamdulillah. So Afira, thank you so much for coming on the show. I mean, I wasn't sure if you'd want to, whether it was too fresh, but I think it's been a really valuable interview, and I hope that people out there appreciate how brave you've been, and they all join us in praying that you finally get the happiness that you deserve in this world. Pray that you're happy and you're healthy, inshallah. Thank you very much, and thank you, listeners. Assalamu alaikum. The final part of today's show, we're going to be focusing on careers. I'm very happy to welcome Sister Salma to the show today. Now, Sister Salma has studied as a mature student and has always inspired me. I know the stress and strain of balancing family life with work, but to study on top of that, I can only imagine is really difficult. So, Sister Salma, welcome to today's show.
Hello, yes, Obaida, thank you for inviting me to your show. And I would like to say Ramadan Mubarak to everyone who's actually tuning in and listening to us at the moment. And I hope everyone enjoys Ramadan and have a nice time, inshallah.
Brilliant.
And thank you for inviting me to the Ramadan Radio Wolverhampton.
We are very
grateful to have this yes,
so Sister
radio
Salma,
station and yeah.
Sister Salma, for the benefit of our listeners, can you just tell us a little bit about what your job title is at the moment?
Okay, so as many maybe like recognize my voice or know me because I have a show as well at the radio. So my name is Salma Hassan, and at the moment I work as a GP or a general practitioner in surgery. My job title is physician associate, which is a postgraduate diploma. I think many of people are not aware of the career, because it is a new career. It's been about around for about a few years now, well known, but it's been around for about 30 years. But we don't have the official actual course. But recently there's many people who are joining, and it is actually like a 2 years program, postgraduate program, that anyone can join if you have like a science degree background, degree, or like work experience in healthcare, like a nurse, or HCAs as well.
Excellent. Yeah.
So it is very interesting, but very intense, as you can fit in medicine in 2 years, which is
I can only imagine. Yes. So you studied this as a postgrad degree, a qualification, right? So
yes.
Your first degree, was that abroad or here, or what did you come to?
It was here in UK. I've studied pharmaceutical science.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes, so it's a bachelor degree. I've done it in Wolverhampton University, and it was quite tough as well. So I've joined the postgraduate straight after my graduation.
Oh, brilliant. So, Sister Salma, this is a women's health show. So we want to discuss the kind of issues that women have in progressing their careers, if you like. So, I mean, I know you've been working in the pandemic this year. You've got a family life. What do you think are the challenges that most Muslim women face in today in working and having professional careers?
Yeah. So I think as a Muslim woman, and also as you said, as a woman in general, it's very tough to have a career and have a family, and like having like young kids as well. So you have to actually be very careful and mindful of your challenges. And working during the pandemic, actually it was very tough, to be honest. But we tried to just work around our kids at the same time, spreading the time wisely between family members and your work. So we are very under pressure during the COVID. So it was quite tough, but I think things went a bit a bit well, and we are actually going to a more better situation for the
So did you have to homeschool as well on top of work, or how were you doing it?
I think or two of my kids used to go to school, which is good. Because he work as kids, and one of my children have to stay at home and study at home, and I have to actually make sure that he's doing his work, and it was quite quite tough and stressful.
It is. I mean, I've got children myself, and for me, as a working woman, balancing your time between your children, if you like, and being fresh and ready to work as well, it is difficult. But I mean, do you have any tips for any of our sisters? How do you get that balance? What do you do to get that balance between family and work, and when you were studying that as well?
Yes, I think the most important thing is make your children and everyone around you, like your husband, to understand your situation.
Absolutely.
Explain to them that you have to work as a team, you have to work together to actually get things done, and very essential for us to work. At the same time, it's very important for the mom to be home and to be for the kids to be to feel comfortable. Mom is is the best, like you having your mom around is very important.
I
but
mean,
at the same time,
I know what you mean,
yeah,
because it's great to have, alhamdulillah, it's great to have supporting husbands. That makes a massive
I
difference.
know.
But at the same
It is
time,
actually
there are
very, very,
certain,
very important.
it makes a big difference, doesn't it? But at the same time, there's certain things that only moms can do, and no matter what you want the husbands to do, the kids will always turn around and say, well, I want you to do it, mom, or I want to sit with you and do it. So
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So you're
Yes.
right. We have to work as a team with our partners and our family, and organize ourselves, if you like. So this is family time and this is work time, and make
Yes.
sure that everyone understands that when it's family
Yes.
time, we're working together, or we're chilling together, or whatever. And then at the same time, husband controls things while you get time to yourself to do your work. Is that would you agree with that?
Yes.
Absolutely,
I
brilliant.
agree. Totally agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
So another thing is, during my studies, it was a bit tough, but I think for every woman, we shouldn't actually just give up because, because of family, because of kids. We need to teach our kids to be a bit, independent, do whatever they can do by themselves, and help each other. And if for me, I used to make my, I used to encourage them to help each other, doing their homework. And most of the time when I'm, while I'm studying, I don't have to be in the library. I just make myself comfortable at home around my kids. Sometimes I have them, in the same room with me. So you shouldn't just have like this comfort, situation or something like that. So you have to get to the challenge and take it. It's so difficult. It's very stressful, but it is actually, you will go through it and you will succeed and you will be surprised by what you can achieve. So yeah, I just want every woman to be encouraged to study, no matter how old are you, or whatever you want to do, go for it and just take it as a challenge, and it will actually just happen.
Oh, that's absolutely fantastic advice there, Sister Salma. So you know what, as women, we can achieve. We just need to believe in ourselves. Like as you said, organize yourselves, be prepared, and be ready to work. Sometimes around the children, that's great if you can, and just do it. We can do it. That's great.
It's the best. Yeah.
Oh, if you, so Sister Salma, if you had your time again, would you do anything different?
I think I can, but I'm not sure what I can do differently. I think there is some, I've learned a lot, through my my time while I'm studying. Like I came here fresh. I have to go to ESOL classes. I have to study English, and then move on to courses, and then university, postgraduate
that takes some
studies.
commitment.
So commitment. So
yeah, mashallah, you're very committed.
Yes. So social life was a bit, I had to cut a lot of my social life to focus on my family and my studies. So I did very well, and now I'm back to helping my community, doing a lot of stuff.
Alhamdulillah, you do.
Them. So it's really, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
I think as women, we just get used to being at this kind of working at this really busy level. So now your studying side has finished. You feel that time with community work, aren't you, mashallah?
Yes. Alhamdulillah.
That's brilliant, mashallah.
I have to get busy. I can't settle. I can't just sit and relax.
Alhamdulillah. And you know what, we're very grateful for sisters like yourself who are doing all the work that you are doing. It's amazing, and we need more people like you to be role models for our sisters. I get real inspiration when I see someone like you who's got family and studying. I think it's absolutely amazing, mashallah. I mean, I studied and I went to university before marriage, and I just about got through it then, I'll be honest. And to do it now at this stage of my life, I don't know how women do it.
You are so lucky.
You did it, alhamdulillah, and you're proof that it can be done. So
yes, I was like, I should have done this earlier, but there is some things that in your life you cannot change, and things can come alone, while you actually just getting old. So you have to take challenges, and you have to look for challenges all the time. And you should just avoid staying in your comfort zone and finding excuses. You know, some people, you know, you just say, oh, I've got kids, I've got family, I've got this. You can do a lot. As a woman, we can do a lot.
Yes.
So you just have to believe in your dreams and follow it. Yeah.
Right. I think you hit the nail on the head. Then I think we just get comfortable in our comfort zone, like you said, and taking that first step, taking that thing. It's a big thing. And I think what you said there is perfect. We can do it. Every woman can come out of there and go out and achieve what they want.
Can do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So before we finish today, Sister Salma,
empowered.
Sorry, Sister Salma, go on. I was going to ask. So just if you can just talk a little bit about your actual your job, day-to-day job, what you're doing here. So I mean, as a practitioner, you must come across like quite a lot of female patients. Do you have like, you know, is there like any advice that you can give us as women, health advice, or what kind of issues are more common out there at the moment for you? What do you think?
I think with us women, we always, you know, focus on to give a lot to other people, like our family, our kids. What I realize is, you know, like most of them, they don't get their own time for themselves, time out or time, you know, like, you know, to go for exercise or for, you know, like different activities. So what I realized, most of them coming with, you know, like, you know, mental health issue, to be honest, stress, anxiety, and you know, like illness, you know, like physiological illnesses, you know, like obesity or blood pressure, diabetes in early stage. So all these are lack of exercise, staying at home, relying on, you know, like just getting things ready for other people, sacrificing a lot of, you know, so a lot of time.
So a lack of self-care.
Every woman, to take time out and look after yourself, so you will be able to look after others. So you have to look after yourself. You have to mind that, you know, you are not just serving everyone. You have to, you know, make other people in the family to work for themselves as well. So this is one of the things that I just want every lady or every woman to be mindful, to be honest.
That Sister Salma, you're absolutely right. As women, I mean, our priority is always our kids, our family, and making sure, you know, that clockwork, that everything is running. And I think we forget about ourselves and our own health. I think you're right. I think in order to do everything else around us, we have to take that time out for ourselves. We have to make sure that we're fit and well. And you're right. And I think we just don't, but we really, really have to start by looking after ourselves. And then, inshallah, everything else will fall into.
So, brothers and sisters, that brings the show to an end for today. A massive thank you to all my guests, Sister Afira and Sister Salma. I pray that you have all enjoyed the show, found it interesting, and that you have all taken something valuable away from it. My aim is that this show supports those in need of support and inspires and empowers everyone to be better. Jazakallah for listening to Ramadan Radio Wolverhampton. Ramadan Mubarak to all of you. Please keep me in your du'as and remember to pray for all the Muslim Ummah. Assalamu alaikum.